Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. I have another interesting video, this time working on a 2004 F-150 Lightning. This is from Troy McBain here in Virginia. He sent a module a couple of weeks ago to be programmed. Well, actually, he first sent me his module, but it was too damaged and too many attempts to try to repair. I said, I don't want to include myself into that because I don't know exactly how those repairs were done. So, and the computer wasn't working properly. So he found a seller and bought a computer online. That computer got program VIN as requested by him, and the car didn't start. So he contacted the seller. He's, oh yeah, we sent the wrong computer by mistake. So they send him another one. And that is the computer that I have now on the bench. You can see right here, the computer, it has also good ECU and the correct VIN number that we need to program for this computer. So the first step that I want to do, and that's what I got the instrument cluster right here, is to see if we have RPMs and the computer run before we make it again incur into charges that might be a bad computer. But hopefully this is a good one. All right, so let me move you over to well, we can see this is what you're going to be seeing. As you can see, kind of like in the distance, the instrument cluster in here has 58,333 miles. That is his original cluster. I also have the transponder with the keys. Those are his keys in there. And you can see the VIN number that needs to be programmed. So the first thing that I want to do is run it, make sure it's running good. For that, I have in here, well, not in here because I have that in there. I have the full probe ready to go. It's going to have the anti-theft light on, which looks like it doesn't. So we'll see. Because I don't see the anti-theft on. So we'll see, because I will connect the scanner. Let me actually, I have the scanner. Give me 1 second, guys. And just making room in here, so give me 1 second. I have the iPad in here as well to be able to see what I'm recording. You're not probably going to be able to see from there. Let me see if that is actually, you didn't see it. Yeah, a little too far. So I'll have to probably move this a little bit more this way so you guys can see also. I'm using it here, the tell. So give me put the password 1 second. Looked like it didn't work. Okay, now we're in there. All right, so yeah, you guys are looking in there a little too bright. Not sure if that is okay or not. Let me try to take a little bit of the light out, because it's probably too bright. Yeah, I can see, at least on what I can see on the iPad, the reflection too strong on the letters and everything. That looks a little better. It's really dim for me, but it's very good for you. All right, so let me see Troy's VIN number, which I have saved somewhere in here. Otherwise, I gotta go over to his folder just to confirm that that one that we have in the writing in here, it is indeed the correct VIN number. Let's not go to sleep. All right, so it should be 2FDRF. 2FDRF. Those are always the same. 0734 CA 54562. So yeah, this number, this VIN number we have here is the correct VIN number for his vehicle. So I don't see the anti-theft on. Right now, I don't know why it's on. All right, so let's get into the immobilizer. I have the scanner connected and everything is on. So let's see what it can see here. So let's do an automatic ID, even though it's not going to work for to completely ID the vehicle. It says being reading fail. That shouldn't have happened because they should have read the VIN. Let me try to read it again. And it is connected. Yeah, it's not reading the VIN. All right, so let's click on OK. Oh, actually, escape. Let me do a manual selection. So Ford, USA. Hopefully you guys, I'm not sure that you guys are seeing too much because it's too white. F-150, so I'm just doing the selection as I'm saying, 2008 to 2004, 2004 to 2008. It's a bladed key. I'm just clicking on yes. And then let me do an email status scan. All right, so we got faults in the immobilizer and on the theft, anti-theft module did not recognize the PCM ID. All right, so we got a B2139, B2139, and that code says the passive anti-theft system PAT module did not recognize the PCM ID. Field sender circuit open. All right, let me see what is on the ECM. And on the ECM, we have if theft is detected, vehicle is immobilized, code P1260. We got a P1000, which is onboard system readiness not complete. And it has a P0234. This is a little, well, it might be a history. It says turbo supercharger over boost condition. That is not a common fault to have on this one, but that might be that was on the car. So I'm going to try to raise. We should only have the fuel pump fault and the anti-theft in case it's obviously not programmed. Okay, so that is, I was able to erase that fault code, and now I got the P1260, which is the anti-theft detected, the P1000, and then now a P0230, which is fuel pump primary circuit malfunction. That is very common, and that is, completely normal. All right, so let's do a test first. To these modules, I use the full probe to test it, and I want to record a full video for Troy. He is a great customer, and I want to make sure that we can do this correctly. All right, so I use signal 51. That is a correct signal for these vehicles at idle or low RPM. So I'm going to turn the ignition on and then give him like 400 or so RPM, 450. And we got no. Oh, I'm in diag. That's why. So the reason I'm not seeing nothing in there is because we're still under the diagnostics in here. So the cluster is not seeing any signal because it's in diagnostic mode. Okay, finally, you see how now the needles went up and down. That is releasing the diagnostic mode. So let's try this one more time. I got the ignition on and now 400 RPMs, and we can definitely see the needle working good. So I'm going to turn that off and I'm going to change the signal now. You're not seeing that on the screen, but let me just now to put you on the screen. I'm changing the signal to signal 7. That is for the high RPM RPMs over 1,000. I'm going to give in 1250, and I'm going to move you then over to the other camera so you can see the reaction on the cluster. But let's do it here. So when I put this in here, I can see it is working good. So I can read the 1200 RPMs. And that's the signal that we are present. As you see, there is no coils, no injector firing because it's not programmed. But I hope that you guys can see now that the needle on the RPM in there. I'm going to turn that signal off, and we can see the needle now went down completely to 0. I'm going to turn the ignition back on and then giving again the signal and immediately see the response. So this computer is reacting properly to the command of the RPM. So that means the computer is fine. So I can now then perform the programming, which is, the next part, which is to program the key, the VIN and the keys for this module, because as we can see, we are not reading any VIN number in here. The computer is good, but no VIN number. So let me close this in here. Just a short commercial. If you have any computers that you need to send for repairs, please look for Mike Salazar Diagnostics. My name is spelled, as you can see in the screen, M-A-I-C. It sounds as Mike. If you need to send a module, you have these two boxes in here, the black and the white. One says, click here, fill this form to send a module. You can click that. That will download a Word document that you can fill and then send a module. I always would like you to click on the other box that says, click here to email us, to start a conversation with you so I can get, any photos, all the inside of the concerns, not just what you would write on that form, because I also ask for the concerns to be written in there. But I like to talk to you and get the information properly like that. If I need anything else before you send the modules, we can do it, all right? So that's, again, just a short one. All right, so, well, actually, I can keep that in the screen because we're not going to be doing nothing in there. So the next thing that I want to do is, well, yeah, get the hotel out of here. Let me pause the video because now I need to connect my laptop and get into 4, because to program the VIN, that has to be done with 4 original software. So I'll be right back. All right, got the computer ready to go here. All right, you guys can see me well. So this is the first page after I launch the IDS, which is you can select in there the 4 BCM that you're using. I'm using a 4 BCM2. I just click OK on that. That is going to change, to check your previous versions or something like that, which the last time I used this laptop was actually to do the same on the other computer for him. Not sure how much you can see there. Let me try to make a zoom further. I'm trying to get you as much as I can so you can see that. So I'm not going to use that recording. Right now, I have all power off in here. I'm going to delete all the previous sessions. All I have is the power on the computer, but not ignition on. So this is how you want to do it. All right, so we're going to start a new session. All others. This is going to try to communicate with the computer, and on all this time, you want to have the ignition off. This is going to make IDS think that there is a blank computer installed on the vehicle, and then after that, you will be able to program the correct VIN and everything on the car or the computer, right? Just also, the path system is actually built into the instrument cluster of these vehicles. Not like the Mustangs, they have the actual path is built into the PCM. All right, so we're going to let establish, and this is going to go into the next window. I have too many cameras to actually do a screen recording onto the laptop. I got a screen recording going on onto my regular PC, but that's just too many things, right? So this is asking me no communication can be established with the PCM. I'm going to check the check mark. So click in there. It says, would you like to retry? If you press yes, the diagnostic tester will make another attempt. We don't want that. If no is pressed, the diagnostic tester will check for a blank PCM. This might involve several requests. So this is what we're going to do. I'm going to check on no. Don't do anything. No switch ignition or nothing. Just keep checking in there, clicking on the check mark. Every time that changes, it's ignition off. And as you see, I'm not changing anything because my switches are here. So no switching in there, nothing is on and off. I just have everything off. I got his keys and his instrument cluster connected. As we were just doing the test, the diagnostic tester is unable to select the car. So we're going to now do a selection for the diagnostics. We're going to go into all others. To enable diagnostic PCM, please enter the following: PCM part number, calibration, 7 digits, and tier tag part number. All right, so we're going to click yes. In here, this is where I need to move this a little bit. So guys, the computer is facing the other way. So I need to, let me take a picture of that and I'll be right back, guys. All right, I took a picture of the information that I need. So the part number for this ECM is a 4L 4L 3A, and the last digits are AUB. AUB as in Brown. Calibration number, I don't have that because we're going to calibrate the computer too. And the tier tag is URB1. All right, so that's all we need to enter there. We're going to click the check mark. Again, all this time the computer is off. All right, that ID the vehicle is a F-150 5.4 automatic gasoline. And if I am correct, his is actually a manual transmission. All right, so let's just give me 1 second. I was reading something. I'm dealing with a customer that left me a bad review, and he's trying to put even more things in there, which is funny. And he can do whatever he wants. I know my reputation and everything. All right, let me just see. I need to revisit information I should have already done in here. I'm glad I took pictures of all this. My replacement is you. Let me go over to his folder, guys, and give me 1 second. All right, now probably I was remembering another computer. No, all I need is to add this information, which I have from the first time. So this will be a 3.7 axle ratio, tire size, and the low range two-wheel drive. So that's all I need to have in there. I was trying to read anything else that he has probably sent me. Let me just make sure. I'm reading his information. What is it? Time? No, yes, sir. What's the problem? Right. Can you please tell me the actual ratio is 373, two-wheel drive, tires, as we saw there. Yep, that's all the information I need. All right, so in this case, we're going to click on the yes in here. Not sure how much is this actually being able you guys to see. But as you see, I'm trying my best to show you with too many captures on the same time. It's a supercharger equipped, yes. All right, so we're going to enter the VIN in here, even though we're not still using it. So let me go into the picture. All right, so 2 FDRF 07374 CA 54562. And on the arrow, I just always put, 000 because no arrow needed here. And then click the check mark. Multiple versions of these VINs, and the next screen will allow you to choose from a list of these VIN numbers, and this is because we have already worked on it. So in this case, I'm just going to click none of the above because I want to start completely fresh. All right, so that is an automatic based on the VIN. It is an automatic transmission, F-150 5.4. All right, so now that the ID of the car is selected, we're going over to the toolbox, and we're going to go over to module programming. We double click that. Then we're going to go what we call PMI, Programmable Module Installation. We're going to select the PCM. Remember, all this time, the computer is off. Gathering data. The module configuration and programming database might be out of date. That's okay. Switch the ignition off. We're not going to do anything. We're just going to click it, keep it off. Install the new module in the vehicle. This is where we start doing our thing. All right, so please read the following information carefully. Do not start rotor programming sessions in a low battery. This is a completely controlled system. If you're doing it in the car, make sure that you use a battery maintainer that you can have at least 13.5 volts in the car. All right, so we're going to select yes. If the vehicle equipped with PAD systems, yes, it is. Switch the ignition on. All right, so I just switched the ignition to the on position. That is a normal error because whatever IDS does, so we're going to try again. Switch the ignition off. Switch the ignition on again. And now the programming, as you see, has started. So this will program first the calibration file. Then it's going to request me to start entering the axle ratio, the octane, adjusted spark, if it's something that needs to be changed in there, the tire size, if it's a 4x4 or 4x2. So this is going to take, it's actually pretty quick, maybe 2-3 minutes on this first page. If it takes a little longer than that, I will probably just pause the video so you don't have to stay for too long in here. Let me do that and I'll be right back. All right, that first part is done. Switch the ignition off. All right, so I just did the ignition off. Switch the ignition back on. Click on the check mark. We're just going to follow the prompts and don't do nothing else until the actual screen changes. This module requires some configurations as I just described, so we're going to click on OK on that. All right, we're going to select the actual ratio of 373. And here we're just going to select it as normal. Tire size, we know that is a 295/45, so it's the 733. And then in here, we're going to select, it is not a four-wheel drive vehicle. All right, and then we click on the check mark. Ask us to switch the ignition back off again. Switch the ignition back on one more time. This error completely normal. Don't even look at it. Switch the ignition back off. Check mark again. Switch ignition back on one more time. Switch off ignition one more time. Switch on ignition one more time. That was really quick. I don't know if you guys noticed that change on the screen because it's just adding that to the calibration. Here we wait. Calibration has been loaded and checked. So this is a successful programming. All right, so in here it's going to say something about a 6.2 liters or something like that after. Come on. Let me see if I click or not. All right, switch ignition off. Calibration has been loaded and checked. One more time. If you program a 6.0 liter diesel, rinse out the vacuum and relay. We don't do that. If required, obtain a PCM calibration programming label as date of January 25, 2025, part number 4U781286650-KLA. That is the new calibration number for this computer based on the latest calibration. All right. Now gain security access. So for this, not sure why this is doing this, but I'm actually not, I don't want to use 4 because otherwise I have to wait for like 10 minutes doing this with 4. With Autel IM608, I can do this in a blink of an eye pretty fast. All right, so let's keep the, now it's asking me to do the ignition on. I'm just going to keep it off, so it's going to fail. That diagnosis is unable to communicate with the module. I don't want to do it that way because operation successful, programming completed because of the same situation. So I'm going to turn the ignition on. Clearing fault codes. And that is done. It's nothing else we need to do here. So if we go back to here, we are on the car. Let me just see if this is telling us anything else. Clearing fault codes. We don't really need to, but yep, it looks like I can. Diagnostics tester cannot proceed until application module programming has finished. Okay, so come on. It's now finally doing the clearing of the DTC. Switch the ignition off. All right, looks like it's now done, finally, right? Let me see. Yep. Yeah, I can now close the tester because that's all I want to do. All right, so guys, let me switch the diagnostics and I'll be right back. All right, so we're like in the recording again. As you see, well, now I have the hotel ready to go there. All right, so let me turn the computer on because it was off. As you guys can see the instrument cluster as well. I'm keeping the light on the office a little low so you guys can see, and we have the test light on. All right, so that's definitely the way it's supposed to be. All right, so we're going to go into the immobilizer. Hopefully this time we can read the ID of the vehicle, because at first it was not being able to read it. So let's do an automatic ID. This should read the VIN number of the car. All right, guys, I have to start, well, kind of like a caught in the middle because the computer froze. I'm not sure if it's OBS the one is creating this, or so many different cameras that I have, and I'm trying to attempt too many things, or if I have a problem in the computer. This is a brand new computer I got for the office, so we'll see. All right, so let's go back into what we were doing. So let me take you over to now the selection, because I was already in the middle of like almost doing it, and I'm like, oh, this is frozen. All right, so we're going to do the automatic ID as I was doing. Let's read the VIN number because this is where we got hung up. And I already know that it's going to read the VIN number with no issues. Yeah, everything is on. Come on. Now they're still hanging up in there. Oh, come on. I have to redo this because I just read it without an issue. So let me turn the computer off and computer back on. Because I want to read that VIN number so you guys can read it. And read it perfectly. So let me go back into right here into Immobilizer. Accept these again. For automatic selection. And let's try it again and attempt to read the VIN number. And the first try, I read it. See, I read it perfectly. So I needed to reboot here. All right, so yeah, so you guys can see that is the VIN number to finish CA 54562. So the VIN is programmed properly into the computer. All right, we're gonna click in here, okay, and it's gonna say fail to do the auto selection. So we just manually going to select it. So we're gonna go into manual selection. All I needed is to read the code. It's a Ford USA F-150 from 2004 to 2008 with a bladed key. We're going to click on OK. And we're going to go into IMMO status scan. That's going to read the full codes again on both of the modules. We don't have much in here. And let's see what we got, right? So we got, let's go into the IMMO. The passive anti-theft system module did not recognize the ID of the PCM. We know that. And we know, and we know the other thing. So we're going to do into IMMO learning, and this is very unique to here. So the first thing that we need to do in this case is the immobilizer PWM, and then parameter reset. First, the parameter reset, so the ignition is on. You should only perform this procedure if you have replaced either the PCM or the pads in the vehicle. Well, we just put a PCM, right? So we need to do this. This is going to match the IDs of these two modules together, and the ID is successful. All right, now we are going to get out of here. Like that. Well, we're not in diagnostic, which is good. I'm going to turn both off and one more time on. All right, so we're going to, let me go back one more time. Immo status scan. That is going to read the codes. Now we got 3 codes and the immobilizer. Invalid or missing data or vehicle security. Let me clear this. No DTCs. Let's do one more time, key off. And one more time, key on. Just take a look of the instrument cluster. Well, the instrument cluster is still in diag, so we need to get out of here. No, we cannot see nothing because, oh yeah, well, actually just release it. So the light is off, so let me turn this off one more time and turn it back on with the scanner out. The theft light is out, which is perfect. That's exactly what we're looking for. So in this case, I want to get out of here, and we're going to go into normal diagnostics because this is what I needed to do for this time in here. I'm going to click exit, and we're going to go into the main menu. So here we got the big screen is for immobilizer. This is a regular scanner diagnostics. So we're going to select 4, accept, and in here we're going to do an automatic ID. This should really ID the vehicle properly because we're doing an ID of the car for diagnostics. So we're going to read the VIN number one more time to make sure it is the correct VIN number, which we already know it is. Perfect. And we're going to click OK. This time it has to go through with no fail of anything, because the only fail is because this tool is not to the latest update. That's it. But for the rest, on diagnostic, it should work. Not a problem. And it did. So right now we have a vehicle, F-150, 5 liters, gasoline, and that is the correct vehicle VIN number. So we're good. System data loading. That's what we have in the screen. So you guys are a little far away, but all that is good. Trying to do this complete video so you guys can see how it's done in here. And also for Troy, I want him to be completely sure that everything is going back into his car working 100%. All right, so we got a supercharger equipped. That was that selection. We're going to go into diagnostics. I want to enter first the engine computer. So I'm going to go into control unit so we can select what we want. So we're going to go into the PCM to delete default. Because if we read the codes right now, constant memory fault codes, we should have still the paths in there, but that's just because, we have not erased it. So fuel pump, check system not compute, fuel pump, and theft, vehicle immobilized. So let's escape from here. And we're going to erase codes. If the fault is permanent, we will not be able to erase it. All right, codes have been cleared. Let's read one more time, and we're going to go into constant memory DTCs. We were on like 4 or 5 in there. Now we got 3 fuel pump, primary circuit, fuel pump, primary circuit again, and then check all system, which is the P1000. So we got P0230, P1000, and P1232. So this is looking good. I think we're pretty much done in here. And the last set that I'm going to do is going to be in the full pro. But before we go there, I want to go into the instrument cluster. And I'm going to get the camera really close. Because in here, we're going to select multiple pits, which is going to be master key present, how many keys are programmed. We actually have battery voltage in here, which is great. So the ignition is in the wrong position, master key present. No numbers of keys stored in the module. We need to see if the ID, path system anti-theft, is the PCM stored, verification, okay. So show selected. I want to get this close to the camera so you guys can see that. Let me actually put this onto the biggest screen because I want to make sure that you guys are seeing this properly. And yes, that is actually, see, so you see it, left upper corner, battery voltage, master key present, yes. Minimum number of key requires 2. Path anti-theft system service module, yes. PCM ID store, PCM verification, okay, yes, yes. So this card should run now with no issues. So I'm going to put the scanner on the side. And now what we want to do, or what I want to do, is get you back into the display capture. And I'm going to get the full pro back in business in here. But this should be already good to go. It's going to check my license, and I love the way that now systems are being, for every tool that you purchase, they still got, you know, checking a license. I mean, that should not be necessary for me to start this software because I pay for it. But I'm on the subscription, so not a problem. All right, so we're going again to select here. These are just mostly is in Spanish, but okay, we're going to select forward. The signals that I use for this one is escape B6 with a internal paths, not a problem. So we're going to select that one. Or I'm going to lower some of the values in here just the way that I always do here. And we're going to select the signal, the correct signal for idle, which is 51, as I did on the beginning of the video. And then let's run it first without you guys seeing the actual cluster and see if we can get the injectors in here. And we do. So what it is telling us, the computer is running as it's supposed to. We got 400 RPMs. I'm going to move over to the other view so you can see the RPMs on the instrument cluster. No theft light. All right, so we got no anti-theft light and in RPM. So all is 100% working good. I think that's a good angle, not too much glare in there. So all that is good. Let's go back to the display capture. I'm going to turn this one off. I'm going to change the signal to number 7, again, for high RPMs. And before I turn the ignition on, I'm going to get this to 1250 and then turn this on. And we can see injectors working 100%. Let me move you over to the other screen so you can see the cluster reading high RPM. So, Troy, your computer programming and test is 100% done. I went even beyond what I normally do just when I program keys and everything, just because I want to make sure that you are taken care. I want to make sure that you are happy. And when you plug this in the car, it starts right away and you're good to go. Because I know this is frustrating sometimes for customers when, you know, you get something bad and is it the part, is it me? And I know that he trusts me 100%. That's why he's back with me here. I want to give this customer happy just to start the car and be happy on the road, enjoying his beautiful ride. All right, guys, thank you so much for visiting the channel. Don't forget to subscribe. See you next time. Bye-bye.